on this. We are going to build something today that I look at very important. It's however you want to build it on your paper, build it on your paper. But listen to me as I'm giving you instruction of like spaces to leave. You're going to need some space left on the paper. We're going to build things in between each other. All right? So if you want to turn your paper landscape, you can. That's pretty much how I'm going to build this landscape. If you do not want to go landscape, that's fine. You can stay straight up. Just make sure and make things small.
What is this called?
That's portrait. That's portrait. That's landscape. All right. So in this, you all had a question on your quiz. And you're going to start finding out. When I ask questions, I ask them based off of importance of things that are coming. And there's something very important, very near and dear to my heart that we get to discuss today, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we get to talk about the amount of substance. We get to finally talk about the mold. So the mold's going to go right in the center of this. It's the very dead center. Leave some space above it. Leave some space. You want this like the middle of the paper. We're going to put stuff to the left, stuff to the right, stuff below. And this is literally what you're creating. I found out student teaching that this worked really well, and I still use it to this day. The mold map. You'll find out, literally this is just a map. What are maps useful for? They get you from point A to point B, right? And that's literally what this thing is for. Stop throwing your pencil. We're getting from point A to point B in this, okay?
Kelsey Morella, come to the office.
And this is where we start the whole thing out. This is just a thought process. A lot of things that I break down like this is, I don't know, I guess I'm different. I like to teach like a thought process because I don't want you to memorize facts and stuff. I want you to have the thought process down of how to do things. Like at the end, whenever we was doing this prefix conversions, we talked about it. You take the first exponential value for the prefix, you subtract the second exponential value from the prefix. Once you get that answer, you will multiply by whatever the exponent is with the units. So if there isn't one, you don't multiply. And then after you get that answer, you will add the original value that you started with. So exponential value that you originally started with. That's the whole thought process. And that is literally what's just going on in my mind. So we're taking what's happening up here, as crazy as it is, that you are like, oh my God, I don't want to have anything there. And we're going to put it on paper. And this is where we start. If there's anything I can tell you, this right here is money. Every problem you're going to be solving, you are either going to start with molds, or you're going to have to go through molds, or you're going to have to find molds. Molds are it. I'm openly telling you this right now. The mold is it. If you don't use the mold, we're not going anywhere.
Can we wax the mold?
Different type of mold. Okay? So in this, you're going to go to different values to find different things. So to the left of it, over here, leave some space in between these two. We're going to put a box. And we're going to put some information there. To the right, and leave some space here. I'll make it a little bit bigger box because I have to put a couple more units in it. But you still want some space there. And then down below it, this is my favorite one, is the down below it.
Oh, it looks like a satellite.
I've never seen a satellite that looks like that.
Really?
Yeah,
Disconnect it.
we're getting ready to. Alright, so in this, like I said, this is a map to get you from point A to point B. But you're dealing with certain units. Okay? So, I'm going to use the blues just because I have like 3 different blues, and I know the girls in the room are going to look at me and say, that is not a dark blue, that is not a regular blue, and that is not a light blue. That is a turquoise surf baby turtle. For some reason, one of my favorite laughs to do in here is when we do the flame test. The guys are back there and they're like, we're burning sticks. Fire! That's raining. Fire! And girls are like, that is not paint. That is a Surfage turquoise pink. Okay? And I'm like, oh my God, it's just a light pink
Can I just say, it's navy blue,
Navy blue.
navy blue royal
Tell me more
blue.
about this navy blue.
I can't talk.
Yeah, she tried to say Massachusetts last week.
Thank
and I didn't.
That's hilarious. I had a kid yesterday had organic chemistry on the board, and they looked and said, Mr. Hall, what is this organic chemistry stuff about? I said, well, it's like that organic food that you get from the supermarkets. All right, so the first thing we're going to deal with, and this is one that's I see some people struggling with, is grams. Or mass. I stress the grams, and this is where I openly look at you and I tell you where tricks can lie at. This right here, this little block, this box itself holds a trick. You have to find yourself in grams. I will start you out in something besides grams. I will start you out in micrograms. Guess what you're going to have to do?
Change the prefix.
Change the prefix, get it to grams. Then you can work problems. I'm openly telling you right now.
Oh, so we don't have to use what we've learned in this quiz next time.
Oh my goodness, it's like it matters or something. It's like, you know, it all connects together. If there's anything I can tell you about chemistry, it will all come back together. What I'm teaching you right now will end up coming back at the end of this class, so you better learn it now, because if you don't, it's going to bite you in the butt. If you don't believe me, go ask my kids that had me last year and just say the word stoichiometry.
Whoa, that's a big word.
When you say stoichiometry, you're going to see some of those kids are going to have PTSD, and they're going to fall on the floor and they're going to start shaking.
Are you saying stoichiometry?
Stoichiometry.
Is that the story of how kids are made?
No. All right, from down here at the bottom, we have volume. And it's of gas. I'm not talking about somebody farting. The units that you're looking for here are liters. And there's reasons behind this. There's a reason I'm stressing the units. And then over here on the right is one that you've probably never heard of before, but you're going to become familiar with them. You've probably heard of this first one. It's atoms. Hopefully you've heard this second one. Particles. Hopefully you heard the third one. Molecules. The fourth one, formula units. I don't think anybody's heard that. It all comes down to what you're dealing with. You're dealing with, if you're just dealing with a certain element, you're dealing with atoms. If you're dealing with a ionic bonded compound, which you don't know what ionic bonds are yet, so you're not going to know what that is. You're dealing with particles. If you're dealing with covalent bonds, you're dealing with molecules. Pretty much in this, what you need to worry about with this, if I'm asking you to get to this, I'm going to give you the units to end with. If the question says how many atoms are in 12.6 grams of carbon, what's going to be the units you end with? Atoms. I gave it to you. How many atoms? Okay? So now on this, like I said, this is a map. And we're traveling between everything. So, you can go from grams to mole. You can go from volume of gas to mole. You can go from atoms, particles, molecules, formula units to mole. Remember how I told you we're going to go to the mole?
They all go to the.
And guess what you can do? If you can go to it, you can go back from it. You can go from the mole, atoms, particles, molecules, formula units. You can go from the mole to volume of gas. You can go from a mole to grams or mass. Now all of this comes off base of stuff. We're doing good. We're making stuff. All these are based off identities, okay? Today's a special day.
Oh, first aid kit.
Yeah!
The purple marker.
Why is it in the first aid kit?
That's the last place anybody would look.
As it's important.
You're going to find different points of information. So let's start with here. We're going to go from grams to mole. If you want to go from grams to mole, you're going to set up a conversion factor. I'm going to show you how the conversion factor will look. I know it's not going to make a lot of sense right now because we're not using that information yet. I'm teaching you the information today so that tomorrow we can use the information. Okay? So today, to get from grams to mole, you're going to set up a conversion factor. When you're setting up a conversion factor, this is literally what it looks like. It's 2 parentheses and a fraction. And in that fraction, it depends on what you're looking at. So you're going to literally build your conversion factor based off of what you're trying to find. I'm starting with grams and I'm trying to go to moles. These are units, ladies and gentlemen. And if there's anything I can stress to you, units can cancel if you use your conversion factors properly. If you do not set your conversion factors up properly, it's not going to go well for you. So since I'm starting with grams and trying to go to mole, what I'm trying to end with needs to go on the top. So mole will go on the top. But along with that, I need grams to cancel out. So grams goes on the bottom. Right now I'm spelling grams out. What is the abbreviation for grams? G. So in problems, I'm not going to write grams out all the time. I'm probably just going to put G. Okay? I want to make sure you understand what that is. And in this, it's a conversion factor. It's an identity. And this is where it comes into play. When you're using this conversion factor, when you're going from grams to mole, you'll always have a 1 with mole. And then you're going to have this number here. I'm going to put a blank. I'll just make one line.
Oh, just put X.
I won't put it. I won't put a blank. Because that number will change. That is the number that's changing. Now the question of it is where is that number coming from? I've gave you the number before. It comes from the periodic table. On your periodic table, when you look at it, we talked about that top number. The top number we're going to take iron, for example. So when you're breaking this number down, these numbers down, what's this top number? Number of protons, and what's the name of it? Atomic number. You're fine. That's not the number that we're caring about in this. Which one of these numbers, the top or the bottom one, was dealing with a mass?
Atomic mass.
Um, the mass number. You know.
The mass number, but we said on the periodic table is that the mass number. No, what is it? You calculated it.
No way.
The average atomic mass. I don't know who said it, but whoever said it, you got it. This is the average atomic number. And guess what that is? This number, if you're watching the video, close your eyes. Now open your eyes. The number in blue. Okay? That 55.845, guess what that is? The average atomic mass. And guess where it goes? In your blank spot on your mole map. If you're watching the video, close your eyes.
Can we just put ammo before
That blank spot. If you're watching the video, open your eyes. The blank spot right there where it says grams. That is where you will put your number. The 55 point, what is that, 845? Yes. That goes there. Sorry. Okay. Close your eyes again. Sorry. Producing budget was low.
What's your name on your channel?
Kev Labs, I'll send it to you on reminder. I like any video I send you. I send a link to you so that you don't feel like you have to subscribe to me. I literally use my YouTube channel just for you all. That's it. So whenever you're done with this class, you probably want nothing to do with this. So this right here is where this number's going to come from.
Oh, it's important.
Average atomic mass from periodic. Oh man. Table. I'm going to add a note here. You have not done this. So don't freak out on me when you see me say this number like, oh my God, I don't know what it is. Of course you don't. You haven't learned it yet. There's a reason you're taking chemistry and you're not all ready for quizzes
We're
yet.
just little baby mole learners.
Also, molecular mass. Will learn at later date. Man, my handwriting is like at an all-time worst today.
I know all of it.
Oh man.
I was kidding. I was trying to lock the moon.
You're fine. History bad. All right. That's what your conversion factor is going to look like. Hey, what if we're going from the mole to grams? You know what the awesome thing is?
Grams over mole.
Take the reciprocal of it.
Mind blood, bro.
So where are we trying to go? Thank you.
Grams.
So what goes on the top?
Grams.
Wouldn't that just be the same as ammo?
It is the same as AMU, okay? Or average atomic mass units. There we go. Atomic mass units. But this is where I said I want grams per mole on there so that you're used to that number. Remember, blank spot here. Mole. What goes with mole in this case?
One.
One. He was number one. All right, at blank spot next to grams. Where do we get that from? Hey, average atomic mass from the periodic table.
Aha. Get it?
Make sense?
No.
No. must be in grams
Before doing.
before converting. Now here's the exciting part. This is why I love the mole map. I get to talk about my box.
You're
My box.
Oh, your box.
My box. My box that somebody else purchased and was a part of this room, and I looked at it and I said, this box has no meaning except for one moment in the whole class who would ever spend this much money on this box. Guess what's inside this box?
Shredder.
Mold.
There is not Schrodinger's cat. I wish, but there's no opening, so
I mean, either way.
there is a mole. There's a mole of air. I know. Your life is forever altered now. You're like, oh my gosh, what did I ever do without a mole of air in a box? But in this box is one mole of air, and there's a special number that is associated with 1 mole of a gas at standard temperature and pressure.
Whoa.
22.4 liters. I know. Exciting, right? In this,
I'm just glad it's an even number. I was
Hey,
freaked out.
2 plus 2 equals 4.
in this is the first constant you have to memorize.
Oh, boy.
Yay.
The first number. The box.
The box. Dun, dun, dun.
So, remember, or as I like to say, note 22.4 liters per mole.
Or can we just put per?
It's just 22.4 liters per mole. I mean, you can if you want to. The fraction looks more professional and nice. So in this, you're going to use this identity to travel between mole and volume of gas. So, if we are going from volume of gas to mole, guess what you'll do? You'll set up a conversion factor. We're going to mole. What goes on top?
Mole.
Mole. Guess what number goes with mole?
28.4.
And then we got the volume of gas, which must be in liters. This is your identity. This is the conversion factor. Guess what number goes with it? 22.4. Man, you guys catch on fast. Look at that.
Uh-huh.
We'll see how fast you're catching on. I believe you got this. Guess what's going to be on the right side?
Huh.
22.4 L over 1 mole.
22.4 liters over 1 mole. And that's when you're traveling from mole and going to a volume of a gas. So you see that middle section we got there? We're going to fill that with another note.
No, I don't think I'll have room.
Depends how big you know it is.
If you don't have room in between here, just find a spot and put it in there. You just need a note that goes with
But
this.
it needs to be the way it's on the board, Mr. Hall.
Somebody's a little too OCD.
You know what? It's okay.
All right. In this note, first thing, volume of gas. Must be in liters before converting? And when I say that, what I'm talking about is to do the conversion between a mole and a volume of gas. You have to be in liters first. So if I give you something like microliters, what must you do?
Change the prefix. All that stuff.
Change the prefix, get it to liters. Spot on. Look at this. Y'all doing good. I'm proud of y'all. Stop making fun of me, Alyssa. I got a box with a number on it. Do you? Didn't think so. Shut up. About that.
I
Seriously, like, I don't know who bought this, but
mean, it was here and you know what it's for. So you're.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Can I throw this in the trash can?
All right, there is a second note to this.
I don't want the yellow juice going everywhere.
Yeah, don't throw that in my trash can.
Yeah.
Must be at STP.
Standard something. Temperature and pressure.
STP stands for standard temperature and pressure.
You work in
How hard do you think I should be on y'all?
How hard?
I mean, I did have a mental breakdown yesterday.
I had to. I cried in here.
We already got mental breakdowns, got tears happening. We're good and on track. We don't need to make the class harder. I will not make you memorize what standard temperature and pressure is. I will tell you in the problem. Okay? Listen to me carefully. This is being recorded. So if anything ever happens, you can come back on this recording and look and say, Mr. Hall, you're a liar. You got to be right, dude. You can't lie to me. Okay? I'm not a liar. I will tell you on a volume of a gas problem, it is at standard temperature and pressure. If I tell you it's at standard temperature and pressure, dead giveaway that you can solve it. If I give you values for temperature and pressure, dead giveaway, you can't solve it. Okay? This isn't an AP chemistry class, so I'm not requiring you to memorize that. You got enough stuff to memorize. Like, hey, that number down there. Don't worry, the box won't be out here on quiz day. How's everybody feeling there?
Let's go.
I mean, I'm glad that it's an even number. But it's not a perfect square. I don't know how to do that one.
2 plus 2 equals 4.
Yeah, I don't care. All right.
No, from a square like that.
Then comes the last one. And for whatever reason, this is the one that all the students really struggle with. It's between this one and that one. Besides my little tricks that I've already told you about. I cry when we get to this number. It's a special day. Oh. Guess what we're going to do? Set up a conversion factor.
Wow.
We're going to make this one pretty big.
For all intents and purposes.
It's the holy grail of mold.
All right. So, if we're going from atoms, particles, molecules, or formula units and going to the mole, what's going to go on top?
Football.
The mole. What number goes with mole?
1.
He was number 1.
Yeah.
I'm going to remember you saying that.
That's why I
Thank
do
you
it.
so much.
Remember, Mr. Crab? He was number 1. The hat belongs to him.
I hate SpongeBob.
said that, shame on you. Get out.
Well, I hate SpongeBob in general, so.
You will no longer learn about mold.
The one where Squidward ate all of his Krabby Patties.
Alright, so in this,
This is no way.
one mole, okay?
Yeah.
There's a special number that goes here. I'm going to put the abbreviation of this number because it's a big number, and I'm going to give you the note out to the side to memorize the number. Got it? So here, listen to me carefully. The abbreviation of this is important. It's a capital N. N as in Nancy, which many of you in here are.
Negative.
Aha! You're so funny.
And it's going to be a little subscript of a capital A. Subscript capital A. This abbreviation is so important. I'm going to take a moment and stress this to you. And this is as to why. When I was a TA, a lab TA at Marshall University, I had to grade lab reports. There was professors there that had me grading the lab reports that looked at me and told me, if they put Na, sodium, for N subcapital A, Avogadro's number, you are to take a point off.
Avocado.
I literally had kids that just because they did that, they had 100%, 100 points on that lab report. Because they got the numbers mixed up, ended up getting a 33.
Jesus.
That's the avocado to guacamole.
Yeah.
This right here is why it matters.
Grams of
N little a is sodium. N capital sub A is Avogadro's number.
Avocado.
Any questions?
Avocado.
If you're watching the video, close your eyes. If not, you're going to feel like you're going to have a headache. Open your eyes. That's sodium. N, capital N, and a little a. If you're watching the video, close your eyes. Okay, you can open your eyes now. Now, the units that go with this is why we made this so big. It will either be atoms, and I have to write small, particles, molecules, or formula units. I ran out of space.
Oh.
Those are the units that will go with it. Whatever unit you're starting with is what's going to go there. That's what you're looking to get canceled out. It's just this right here.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine. It's atoms, particles, molecules, formula units.
APMFU.
Say it one more time.
Oh,
I wouldn't abbreviate it like that again.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I can't do that.
Ladies,
I was gonna start.
You're so funny.
way to put your foot in your mouth, Connor. All right, let's go to this bottom one. Guess what it's going to be? Not the opposite. It's got a special name. It's the reciprocal.
The reverse.
I cannot be telling you bad math terminology in this class, and whenever you go
Just-
to your math
just
teachers, they get
flip
mad at
it.
me.
Just flip it.
Just flip it, bro.
So 1 mole is on the bottom. What goes on the top?
Not what Connor said, but
All right, M capital A, then you got atoms, molecules, particles,
okay.
or formula units.
I keep getting mixed up. Okay, so is the A, like, is it okay if we put the A on the line and then the N above it, or does the N have to be on the line and the A still like?
On a technicality, it needs to be below it, but if you're writing it on a paper, I really can't tell. But you better make sure it's a capital A. Okay, whenever you're typing, like if you were typing a paper out, you wouldn't want to make it a subscript. Okay? Now in this, before you put your stuff away, have I gave you what NA is yet?
Nope.
No, don't put that away yet. Because we need a note.
Yeah.
Those of you who never had me before, if it's in purple, it means something.
It's important.
It is important. Everything is important, but if it's in purple, it's like mega important. Okay?
It's like Thanos snapping his fingers important.
Or, no, not saying.
In sub A, this is called Avogadro's number. I don't care if you can spell it. And it doesn't matter if you can say Avogadro, you can say avocado for all I care.
Okay.
This is the number you must memorize. 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd. And it will be
That's a big number.
atoms, particles, molecules, or formula units.
Wow, thanks.
Please make sure and return my calculators. It'll be one of those units. Along with that, bring this with you tomorrow. We're going to start using this. If you have questions, come and see me.